I'm Peter Loshak. We're talking right now with returning guest, professional NFL handicapper Stephen O from AccuScore.com. Stephen O, thanks for being back with us this week.
Thank you for having me again.
Steve, what's up with you, dude? What is your deal, bro? No, what the fuck is up with you, dude?
It's really good, isn't it?
All right. So for the first-time viewers, so people who are regular viewers know exactly why I'm asking. First-time viewers, because Stephen O gave us another winner last week, which puts him at like 7 or 8 weeks in a row that he's given us a winner. It's been like 2 months since you've given us a loser. How are you doing this, pal?
I think that I'm always going with the simplest analysis.
Yes.
The stuff that doesn't require a lot of if this and that and a lot of players playing beyond what they normally do. The fact is, Jake Locker, I was never a big fan of his going back to college, and I don't think he's anything, by any stretch, a great NFL prospect. So, and I know what Chris Johnson is, if he doesn't hit a couple home run, 80-yard touchdowns, he's not that effective. So I just didn't see how Tennessee was going to score many points against Houston. And then, Houston's one of the, 3 or 4 best offenses. So I thought whatever 4.5-point line was ridiculously low.
All right, yeah. Well, I personally think it has a little bit something to do with that chicken scratch in the back of behind your head right now. So we're gonna take some screenshots of this. We're gonna take some screenshots and blow it up, expand it up by like 1,000, and see what we can decipher what those chicken scratches are. That might be the key to a lot of this.
Well, remember, this is my partner's office, so it's probably like debts we have to pay off to the bank
okay.
and other things like that.
All right. Well, it's been an amazing run. Hey, let's see if you can do it again. I don't even know. I'll tell you this. Last week, I was talking to Brent from DSI on a regular call, and he said that all the sharps were on Tennessee, and I said, well, Stephen O from AccuScore is on Houston. So until anything changes in our interviews, I'm tailing him, not the sharps.
Yeah, 90% of the public was on Houston as well. So
yeah. Who knows? All right, so the game you have chosen this week to discuss is Detroit at Green Bay. Green Bay is a 7-point home favorite. Totals 52. Detroit, of course, has lost 4 in a row. Green Bay has a lot of injuries, though. They're winning, but they do have a lot of injuries. They're running a lot more now. Detroit is a big passing team, but they have a bunch of injuries to wide receivers, even though Calvin Johnson is unstoppable. So when I look at this game, my first thought is maybe under 52, even though, Green Bay is always, it's always possible that Aaron Rodgers could have a 400-yard game and Detroit constantly goes over, and they're one of the biggest passing teams in the NFL. But I would lean under. What do you like here? Stephen O.
I'm going against you, and I'm relying kind of heavily on our computer picks this week. And we have the Packers covering 7 at 54% and the over around 56%. Because with a simple math, we have the Packers, even though the score was 24-20 in the previous matchup in Detroit just a few weeks ago. But, in that game, Mason Crosby missed a couple of makeable field goals, and you could argue the real score should have been around 30-24, and that was in Detroit. So we expect a similar type of game in here, with Green Bay scoring 30+ and the Lions scoring around 23. So, which is why we like the Packers. And it is a high chance of a push in terms of the spread. That's why we like the over and Green Bay, even though those defensive injuries. I mean, the Lions, with Ryan Broyles out, as you point out,
yeah,
and Titus Young kind of losing his mind and lining up incorrectly intentionally, they're going to rely heavily on the tight ends. And I usually don't look at this kind of level of detail too much, but I know, look at Green Bay, what they did against tight ends all season. And, all the combined totals of tight ends per game against Green Bay was on 45 yards and a third of a touchdown. So 1 every 3 games you can give up a touchdown. So, and that's for all the tight ends on the team, not just the opposing starter. So they have something going on there. Again, I'm not a big X's and O's guy because, that's not my bag. But, it seems like they can cover that. They can presumably double Calvin Johnson or maybe even triple him and only contain him to 100 yards and 1 touchdown instead of 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So your official pick on this game is what? Is Green Bay or is it the over or is it both?
Green Bay and covering the 7 and the over 52.
So you're giving 2 picks on this game?
Sure.
All right, well, I guess there's nothing more to say. We'll see if you can do it again. Stephen O from AccuScore.com officially likes the Packers -7 and the over 52. Thanks so much once again, and we'll talk to you next week.